Hey, what's up, guys? So, been a little bit over a week now. I think about, what, 10, 11 days since the game's been out. I'm level 50. I'm kind of reached a point where, like, I think all I can really do is log in, use my stamina, and log out because I've done everything in the game already. Unless I want to just keep throwing my head at the zero system, trying to get better saves, which we don't even really understand how everything works still, but that's fine. I figured it was time to do like a tips and tricks video and like everything that I've learned coming up to this point, and just a video that kind of help the new player out, the intermediate, the veteran player might even learn something from this video. It's just gonna be like a general tips going across like the entire game. I'm gonna try and make it as fast as possible because there's quite a few things that I want to go over. Some of the stuff I've covered in other videos, but I wanted to put it all in one place so that people like looking for like good info on the game can find it in one spot. And now that that little intro is done, the beginning of this is going to be catered a little bit more towards like the newer players because I want to talk about the path and how to efficiently spend your stamina going through there and just stuff to look out and talk about affinity and all that stuff. So bear with me while I do that first. And so I'm glad I'm able to like go back through this entire thing. So basically, for all my new players out there, you're gonna basically like this thing's gonna be like your PowerPoint presentation, your best friend. This is gonna be your teacher. This is your seeing eye dog. This is your best friend, I guess. I don't know. You get a lot of shit out of this. You get a lot of rewards. It's really nice. It's really rewarding. You get a lot of really good stuff out of here. But some of the stuff is a pain in the ass to complete. A lot of it's self-explanatory, you know, complete growth simulation. That means you just go, and I wish I could click on it and it would take me there from here, but this is just like the little mission that gives you experience, right? Like the little, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Most of the stuff's self-explanatory, right? All this stuff, you know, level your 3 combatants, level your 3 partners. You'll understand what that is when you play the game. And then you'll get to level 2, collect all your rewards, etc. But this is where, like, there comes a point, like, with these two back here. This is going to continue on throughout the entire thing. So, something that is super important in this game, that, like, stuff that will this will literally bottleneck you for an entire week. Behind on progression, just because of how stupid they made this. I really wish, I hope it gets changed. Just for the benefit of people. For the benefit of everybody, please change this. But affinity is a huge bottleneck in this game. So you wanna hyper focus this on one unit. You get backgrounds with the units, so like, okay, I did Haru. She just happened to be the one that I did. I mean, you can try and focus one with a background that you want, I guess. Probably not a bad idea. There's some good background characters in here. I wonder, can I show them all in here? Yeah, they're all locked. So I guess based on what character you have, like if you want to actually, if you want to come min-max your background here, based on what character he, oh my god, I haven't even looked, oh my god, I haven't even looked at these. I might, chain, oh my god, okay. I have not looked in there. I just got fucking fat ass Haru on my screen eating a bunch of cake when I could have had Maribel in a towel. But alright, so basically you want to focus one unit for your affinity, okay, from start to finish. We're still doing that now. Like now I gotta go to level 30. And the way you do that, you get gifts. You do these excursions in here. So basically what that is, that's just these things. You just come in, spend time together. I'm going to be spending some time with Maribel. I got to start getting this up. You give them gifts here, and you just raise their affinity over time. With these excursions, there is a correct and an incorrect answer to get more. I mean, if I don't have the info for all of the characters. You'll kind of learn what every character likes and doesn't like. Like for example, like Haru really likes food. And another example, Kalipe really likes meat. So like typically answers around those like will give you more affinity. And you'll just kind of notice some of those things as you do it. But yeah, you get these excursion tickets. Only spend these here. They actually share a charge with your mental hospital here. You just come in and you do these with crystals instead, if you have to. Do not do this delete memory thing unless you absolutely have to, because these things right here become very scarce when you get to late game. Very, very scarce. Treat these things like literal gold. Treat this literally like your child's college fund. Like, treat these like food and water during a drought, hurricane, apocalypse, fucking zombie invasion. Because I wish I didn't frolically spend mine. Okay, it actually tilts me because you need so many to level up a character. I can show you that just right now real quick. So Maylin, let's level you up. Boom. Okay. Wow. I can get 1 level for all of the ones I have. It takes 500, well, what, 600,000, I think? Yeah, 600,000 to go from 50 to 60, and to promote a unit. So, promotion. That's another 500K, by the way. So, yeah, it's super expensive. There's also this nice little food store that gives you little buffs for chaos. I'm never spending another cent of my credit in there ever again. It's barely noticeable in the chaos run. I will never do it again. I'm not spending credits on anything except for leveling my characters and rolling gear. That's something else I'll talk about later. But in general, yeah. You can get some affinity through here too. So always, like, the character that you're doing affinity on, always place in here as well. And keep in mind that you get to choose the reward. The first one, it forces everything in, and I think it auto gives you a reward. Whenever you do your next one, you get to pick a different set of rewards. Do not be like me and pick fucking gear leveling shit, because you get these like easy when you're doing your chaos runs later in the game. Pick credits or pick combat experience or partner experience. Probably your combatant like leveling experience. That's probably the most important one to keep picking in this. So just keep that in mind. With these, with these policies, like you get 2 options. You just kind of want to bring all these up to the lines and you get a higher tier reward. Excuse me. And that's it. But that's essentially affinity. So I'm going to go back to the growth mission real quick. And I'm just gonna skim through it with you guys. So you have your complete your potential. So you just basically do everything in this thing says, collect all your rewards, go through the story, collect all the one-time rewards. You're just gonna be collecting one-time rewards everywhere, wherever you can, forever. But keep in mind, when you exhaust all those one-time rewards, like that's why credits are very scarce now, is because we got so many of them at the start, and we were sitting on like 4 million of them, but we didn't realize later on how much you were gonna need those. But in 4 here, you get this challenge here. So, and then I think, what is it, on 7? You get another challenge. 8? Yeah. So I'm gonna go show you what these challenges are. It's in simulations, these challenges here. These share a lockout. So you get 3 attempts. You need to do 3 in this one for the first mission and 3 in this one for the second. I was actually gatekept on this mission for like 4 days because I did this one when I was at like high 30s, and then when I got to 40, I had to wait an entire week for this to reset to finish that mission. Don't make that same mistake. If you're getting really close to 40, don't do this. Eventually, you're gonna pick and choose which one you do anyways, based on what you want to level up on your characters. But for the purpose of doing the growth mission, just be aware that that's gonna happen, and then keep focusing on affinity on one character, and that's essentially will get you through the entire growth mission, like pretty smoothly. Other than that, it's just leveling up your characters consecutively. There's one mission in here that requires you to do memory fragment runs. So you're gonna do this one, only do it 12 times. This is going to cost you, it's 60 stamina a run, so you have to do it quite a few times. You can use some of the tiers that you get as refreshes on it to knock it out. And then just with some of that gear, I'm going to talk about gear here in a minute. There's just like upgrade your shit. You know, level everybody to 40, level everybody to 40. Just make sure you're doing 2 cohesive teams. 2 teams that work with each other when you're leveling up. Don't just start leveling random units because like I said, the credits and the experience become very scarce when you get to the end of the game. Very, very scarce. And that kind of covers like the entire like intro part. Like going through the growth mission and the whole Arc City. But now I want to go into, I've talked a lot about credits. Excuse me. When you finally unlock the zero system here, and as you can see, like I've doubled the cap on all the rewards. Like I've been doing this I've been doing it a lot. I'm missing a lot of these rewards because I actually have to backtrack. This I did not realize until recently. If you complete level 10 on a level, it doesn't retroactively grant you all the lower ones. So if you notice, like I have City of Mist here. I have level 7 and level 8, but I don't have 9 and 10 because I've beaten 9 and 10. So I have to backtrack and beat these. So maybe like as you're progressing up through this, instead of just rushing all the way to the end, because I haven't really noticed a difference in the save data regardless, just try and have 3 different kinds of planets here and just kind of just level them all up as you go to make sure you get all the rewards. And then eventually later on, well, actually, maybe it's smarter to rush level 10. Rush level 10 if you can on one of them, and then just start from the bottom and rush level 10 again, maybe on another one. Or like, because what goes on in this is when you create, initially, this shit costs credits, and like I said, you don't want to spend your credits. These are very precious. Never come in here and re-roll these ever. Unless you absolutely have to, you can't do any of them. So I'll give you an example here. Like once you max it out, you can start using the material that drops in here to make the worlds. So it completely nullifies the fact that you need credits. You won't have to spend the credits here anymore. So once you get to this point, it becomes a little bit easier. So I have difficulty level 10. Let me just show you an example on how I'm gonna do this shit now. Because now for the achievements, I know, okay, so I need a blue pot level 6. So what I'm gonna do here, I have this high level 1 here that I'm pushing up. And then I have here, I'm just going to merge. You can change your level here once you get higher up. So I need a level 6. I'm gonna make sure this is selected for me. This will probably be the option for you, but later on you can use these materials. And then I'm gonna pray I get a blue pot, which I don't. I can't, well, I know, shit, I don't know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. Okay, I'm just gonna confirm this one. And then go back. Do I need, that was miss, right? I think I done miss 7 or 6. Yeah, but I haven't done 7. Swamp of Judgment. Is this the green one? I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, in my case, this is where you would re-roll it. I'm still not using credits. Back to level 6. Pray I get a blue pot. And I don't. But I need to do swap of Judgment too, I'm pretty sure. But this is what I'm talking about, like bricked runs. I'm so over-leveled this that I think that this probably does not matter. So I could probably still do this one just fine. Yeah, this won't be an issue. So Swamp of Judgment, this will give me my next achievement, and just kind of keep an eye out for this. Swamp of Judgment, yeah, 6, yeah. So I haven't done that yet, so I could probably just keep running this and leveling it up, to be honest. But it might be a little bit faster because like, I think you have to complete like almost like 3 in every stage to get to the next one. So it might be faster for me to just re-roll for the next one afterwards. But that's it on on this. Just, you know, be hyper aware of your credit spending because they're very scarce. And then now I'm gonna kind of go to the character page, and we're just gonna go talk about like just some stuff in here real quick. Save data tips. I want to give a couple of tips on the save data because there's a lot of speculation going on around it. I have a pretty good idea on, like, because I've done it so much that I have a pretty good idea on what'll save and what won't based on what's in my deck. Just from like looking at it, right? So this one is a bit skewed because there was an issue with level 5 difficulty, and I'm noticing that this has 3-star gear. I got this actually like 5 days before we knew there was a bug going on in that level. Or before I knew it, because I did go in and do it again later with this build here. Oh, wait a minute, did it get deleted? Now that might have been on my alt account. Excuse me. Yeah, that was on my alt account. I did it on him. Yeah, I made this build in there. But, so yeah, some of these, the ones with 3-star gear, they're a little bit skewed. So, like, I kind of have to, like, revisit and relook at this shit. Because this build might get nerfed. But, at face value, I think this is a build that should save. Ideally, what you're looking at, the neutral cards carry a big weight. This is the last run that I did. And it was a pretty solid build. I actually had 3 of these Vulture injections. But I think taking the Iron Wall is what yeeted out the Vulture injection. You can remove all 3 of the basic cards here when you're doing your runs. So if I just go to the cards, you can remove all 3 of these successfully, but you can't do much else to the deck outside of that. Not in a legit save. You like in difficulty 5, you could do some crazy shenanigans because of a bug. But realistically, you can only consistently move 3 of these if you don't do much else to the deck. Like, it's very hard. Like, if you have like a God Epiphany on a neutral card and you remove all the basics, it's gonna fuck something up somewhere. I think you could have non-Epiphany neutrals in your deck and have all 3 removed, and it would still probably hold, but it's very iffy. I think the best way to do it is just to remove 2 and leave in 1 basic. There's characters that some basics are better than others. So like Maylin, you keep her basics. Like Luke's are bullets, and you know, like hers aren't that great, but you know, his are bullets. There's a lot of basic cards for a lot of people that aren't complete dog shit. So just keep like maybe 1 in and remove 2, and you'll have a better chance at saving a good deck. You're just gonna be stuck with that 1 basic card. And that's just like my tip on basic on save data in general. It's just to not be too greedy if you want to actually bring the build out of the run. See, like this is the level. This is a legit run here. It's only got 6 cards. Typically you can get away with like 3 or 4 God Epiphanies if you don't touch the neutral cards. But yeah, like a pretty consistent save if you want to remove all 3 of the neutral cards is just have everything epiphanied, have a God Epiphany copied, or you know, maybe 3 is like the kind of like the seesaw point where like I'm not sure if 3 would have put a basic card back in this deck. That's kind of where I'm at with the whole save data thing. But yeah, like I have this one, and then I have another example here. See, like this one has, I think 3. Yeah, this one has 3, and all the neutrals are removed. So yeah, that's like the seesaw point. Maybe I could have had an extra card God Epiphanied in there, like an extra copy, and it would have saved in there as well. But this is kind of like the sweet spot for most builds. At least when it comes to like the base cards of the deck, where I know for a fact like the build will save the entire thing. When you start factoring in neutral cards, that's when it becomes a little bit more difficult to predict. Because I don't think maybe it weighs neutral cards in the same way, but you can only remove so many. So like this is an example here, right? So this one, it put Water Arrow back in, but I only had like one God Epiphany there. Like one there. So I only had like 2. See? And like this is on a lower level. So maybe that factors into it as well. Maybe this was on 8 instead of a 10. So maybe like in this case that this wouldn't have got put in if it was a 10. But it's still like it weighed this card as a much higher value on the save. So just kind of like looking at this, and you'll like the more you play, the more you'll understand what will likely save in your runs and what won't, as you progress through the chaos system. And that's kind of like a more late game tip, but that's just what I've learned over time to not get, because like I would go in there and make crazy builds and they get bricked and then I get frustrated. They're fun to play with while you're in the run, but honestly the build gets really cracked literally right before you get to the boss. You get to fight one boss with it, you destroy the boss, and then you never get to play with it again. So it's honestly like, for a content creator standpoint, it's cool to record a video on it and show how powerful this unit can be with like a crazy deck, but then you can't ever use it again, which, you know, it's a one and done kind of thing, which is, it is what it is. But I already talked about, you know, leveling, just going to mines. You can see how much experience I've fucking wasted here. Going to level 20 is not too bad of an idea because you get like this here. I wouldn't do this up to level 40 because that's when it becomes very expensive with your credits. Like this gives you a little bit of a refund at least on the credit when you level them up. But you can, like, depending on how many units you have extra, you might be able to just bump them up to level 20 and then you can get an extra 10 pull out of it. But just try to find, like, see, I have my top right here, all in the 50s. Just keep in mind, it's very hard to change a unit out once you already have them selected. It takes a lot of time and a lot of investment to get a character to where they need to be to perform. So just be mindful, don't level stuff for no reason. It really sucks because like you want to play more characters, and I hope this is something that gets addressed. And then also, like, I made my Haru level 60. I kind of wish I didn't do that. I kind of wish I just went to level 55 because the mission I'm on just goes to level 55. And that. So I'm going to go through a couple of these panels here and just kind of like talk about just, you know, general tips in regards to a lot of this stuff. So partner, I'll get into that a little bit later when I talk about the shop. But potentials here. There's some in here that are more valuable depending on the character for one character to another. So like Mei Lin, she uses a lot of basic attacks, so like this one's more valuable. I didn't mean to like go out completely, but like this here, I'm kicking myself in the face for getting this on this character because this resource that drops from that challenge mode that I mentioned earlier, you can only get 3 of these a week, and they're used to unlock these things up here. And this costs hundreds of stamina, hundreds to get this much. I'm talking, this is a couple days, like this one node right here, I feel like probably will take like a week to farm if you're not doing a ton of refreshing. This one fucking level here, this one node. So like, that's when I say like stamina in this game is giga punishing. So you want to make sure you only level stuff that you absolutely need for your character. Haru does not need this because it's the damage of her anchor and power anchor. I mean, it's not completely useless. It helps at the beginning of my chaos run. But as you can see, like anchor, power anchor. Oh, let's go look at this. So cards. Oh, this is anchor and power anchor here. Oh, okay. What's my save data look like? Oh, there's no anchor. There's no power anchor in here. So that node is fucking useless. Okay? God awful, dog shit. Like, I don't like it. It's, in the words of Gazzy TV, I don't like it, it's shit. Like, this, oh my god, man. I'm actually kicking myself in the back of the head. Like a donkey. Like, because That's just such a fucking waste. Like, if I got it on mail-in, I wouldn't be upset because it's actually useful on here. But, you know, I could use that same resource on this side, now that I'm level 60. And I could have got this. Anchor shot damage. Oh, wow. Anchor shot. My main DPS ability. I could have got that instead. So, just be very aware of that with your character. It's very good to understand how your character works before you just start throwing shit in there. Honestly, this bottom one isn't that big of a deal. This is super cheap to level up, and it helps you in the very early of your chaos stages, because that stuff can be tedious. It gets you through it a lot quicker, doing a lot more damage here, so that's not bad. This, mind you, is only neutral cards. So cards you buy from the shop in your chaos, most characters, you will not need this at all. I don't think, like, there's a couple, like, the good neutral cards typically are utility based. Like draw. Those are the only ones you really want. There's a very, very few cards that, I think I could show most of them now. I've had most of them. See, like, the ones that are highlighted are the ones that I've actually purchased and used in runs, okay? So you'll see how many I've never touched. I have to wait for this to pass, okay? And then honestly, like, a lot of these ones that I've bought before are terrible. They're not good. But as you can see, there's a lot that I've never even touched. I can't believe I haven't even seen all the monster cards yet. I've seen a good majority of them. This is the best card in the game. I've seen a good amount of them, actually. But yeah, like, it's stuff like Gear Bag, Reorganize, you'll unlock eventually, Iron Wall. So, like, that node and the potential is really useless. Maybe the only characters is, like, Maneuvering Fire is very good. And so is, there's another one. Quick Draw. Both of these cards are very good for Rangers. So a Ranger might be a character that you, or like whoever can use these. It doesn't tell me right here. Oh yeah, Ranger and Hunter, I think, or whichever they are. The ones that use guns, right? Those are the characters that use those. Those are the characters you might want to level that node on. Actually, you probably will. You could wait until you actually get a decent build with those cards in it too, you know, because usually those are good farming builds. But honestly, even then, you absolutely, like, you don't absolutely need those, because it depends on what we're doing for the challenging content. I mean, just weigh out whether you think you need it or not. But that's the only circumstance I would think where maybe you would need them. Holy shit, we're at 28 minutes. I didn't know I was going to be talking this much. Quick on gear. Getting a crit main stack neck on your main DPS units is like one of the best ways to increase your damage really quick. Early game, just go for the sets. This side over here doesn't really, like, the substats are okay, but like the main stat is always the same in all of these over here. It's always attack, health, and this is defense, right? Yeah. So those are always flat. Your right side are the ones that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. So typically you want to attack on the bottom here for your DPS. For healers, ego recovery I found is very good. It really helps your ego gain for your gauge. Other than that, you could use health, but I think ego recovery is just infinitely better. And then here you have all your different elements. Ideally on your main damage units, you want to get element with attack percent on your sub. You can get an attack percent main stat as well, if I have any. Somewhere, surely, down here. But you cannot get the same sub as main stat, so these always end up being better. You can craft guaranteed pieces in here. So if I were to select this right here, you get like 3 of these a month. And then you come here, and this is how I got that piece that you were just looking at. I just came in here, I had one of these, and I was just like, oh, I want justice. And then I applied it. And then crafted the exact piece I wanted. I was lucky enough for it to have attack percent. I actually crafted 2 of them because I wanted to get one with attack percent on it, and I did. And that's how I got this piece here, which is pretty good. Could be better. Could have crit damage on it, but yeah. That's essentially what you're looking at with gear. Probably like on your main DPS unit that you're pushing high chaos with, craft a crit neck, craft their desire piece, and then you probably just luck into a drop with this one, because like as you can see, like there's only so many different stats you can get. I think attack, ego, health, and defense on these, so it's like pretty easy to just find one that has attack percent on it that you can use. At the end of your chaos runs, that's where you'll be spending a good amount of your energy, is getting gear, and then you'll kind of like spend a little bit to farm like the left side pieces with, you know, once you're late game, to kind of like fill out your set. And that's how I've ended up here. Having blue on this side isn't that big of a deal because it doesn't give you that much in regards to your stats as these 3 pieces over here. The reason I'm using Agony on here, for anyone that's curious, is because I use her with my Calliope that has a lot of Agony built into her kit for the basin. So it was just better for me to get a good Agony set. Other than that, maybe I would be using crit damage. Some characters use 2-2-2. A lot of the sets are really bad, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about different sets. The crit damage set is good. The justice set is good. The agony set is good in scenarios. And then you have the attack set. One set that's of big note is the scarab set. Is very good on a lot of characters. So when you do 2-2-2, like on Melee, it'll be scarab attack, crit damage. And then for like my supports, typically I just like defense scales your heals, more health, and then this will help your healing early game in your chaos, or if you happen to hold on to one of those basic heals, this will help with that. Alternatively, you can go with a more aggressive built healer, and you can actually build them more like a DPS, like these hybrid healers. And then, because like I actually put damage gear on Cassius in a run, and he did pretty decent damage. But yeah, that's it for gear. And then I just want to go and touch on the shop real quick and just kind of give some tips over here. Personally, like this is the material you get from the Passion. You just want to see, here's your gear select thing. I don't even know what these are for yet. I haven't used it for anything. Like I have 5 of them and I don't know what they're for. Something in the future maybe. So as you summon, you're gonna get this material here. In my honest opinion, I think it's better to get a partner with it. I've bought 2 partners out of here. I bought Zeta and Scarlet. I'm using her on Meilin, and I'm using Zeta on my Calliope. The ego effects they give are very strong, and I think getting 4 of these is better than getting 3 of these. Like, getting dupes in a character is kind of nice, but I feel like getting their partner unlocks like a whole new part of their kit that it feels like it's missing. Like, this lets me draw like an extra vulture every time it's up. It only costs 2 ego. It just draws my highest cost card. Does good damage, increases my unit's damage by quite a bit. Where like my first dupe with Calliope like gave a card retain, which isn't even a fucking big deal, you know? Some of the dupes will give you more depending on what dupe you're at, but I think in general it's probably better to get your assigned partner before dupes, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all the tips that I have, I think. This video was long. Hopefully, you sat through the whole thing. If, nice. And see, like, I put my affinity unit in here, and she's a happiness unit. And I need a common economic activity, and she's not giving me that. But I have to put her in here for this stupid affinity bar. Great game design. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. If there's anything that I missed, drop it in the comments so people can scroll through the comments and, you know, check that shit out. I think I covered pretty much everything. There's nothing else I can think of. I don't really give a shit about story stuff or whatever. Owen's the GOAT. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Sorry the video was so damn long. Peace.